I get asked every now and then, is adultery a ground for divorce? The answer to that question is yes, adultery is a ground for divorce. However, it's a very, very sensitive and technical thing. Adultery is not based on suspicion, it's not based on just text messages. For you to prove adultery in the law court, you must have concrete, hardcore evidence. This is why when you watch American movies, you see that they hire private investigators that will go and take pictures of the event as it's occurring, showing the faces of the parties to prove that adultery has occurred. And sometimes that is what you need. Another thing that could prove it is when there's a child out of wedlock belonging to the spouse and there's DNA or some other incontrovertible, or there's some other clear evidence to show that this thing has occurred. So it's not only enough to allege adultery or to show text messages. If the other party doesn't admit it and you don't have concrete evidence to show that adultery has occurred, you might not be able to succeed on adultery as a ground for divorce. The another thing that you need to consider when it comes to adultery is that adultery falls under the heading of intolerable behavior. So what that means is that for you to be able to rely on the ground of adultery for divorce, it must be intolerable for you, which means you must, when you get to know about it, you must not have condoned, encouraged, or allowed it to happen. It means as soon as you got to know about it, you took steps, concrete steps to end it, to show that your displeasure, to show that you don't tolerate it. And it's not just about expressing dissatisfaction or anger alone. You must show concretely that this is something I cannot live with, it is intolerable for me. So those are the two grounds. Number one, you must have solid evidence, and number two, you must not have tolerated that behavior. This is why it is also important that when you have such a thing, you consult a lawyer so that your lawyer can assist you and help you in the process.